Are you hungry? They're cooking up something for us. You may have seen this, maybe you haven't, but I got something for you. In vitro meat coming soon, and I've read another article and it said coming in 2012. And there's look at that, there's the old petri dish. It's a Dutch scientist Mark Post displaying samples of in vitro meat or cultured meat grown in a laboratory at the University of Maastricht. Okay. They're cooking up ways of satisfying the world's ever-growing hunger for meat. Are they now? Cultured meat, burgers or sausages grown in laboratory petri dishes rather than man-made from slaughtered livestock, could be the answer that feeds the world, saves the environment, and spares the lives of millions of animals. Granted, it may take a while to catch on and it won't be cheap. The first lab-grown hamburger will cost about $437,000 NZ. I believe it's something like 345,000. I heard in the other article, U.S. According to Mark Post, a vascular biologist at the University of Maastricht in the Netherlands, who hopes to unveil such a delicacy soon. The experts say the meat's potential for saving animals' lives, land, water, energy, and the planet itself could be enormous. The first one will be a proof of concept, just to show it's possible. I believe I can do this in the coming year. It may sound and look like some kind of imitation, but in vitro or cultured meat is a real animal flesh product, just one that has never been part of a complete living animal. Quite different from imitation meat or meat substitutes aimed at vegetarians and made from vegetable proteins like soy. Stem cells. Here we go. Using stem cells harvested from leftover animal material from slaughterhouses, Post nurtures them with a feed concocted with sugars, amino acids, lipids, minerals, and all other nutrients they need to grow in the right way. And so far he's produced whitish pale muscle-like strips, each of them around 2.5 centimeters long, less than a centimeter wide, and so thin as to be almost see-through. Pack enough of them together, probably around 3,000 of them in layers. Throw in a few strips of lab-grown fat, and you have the world's first cultured meat burger. The first one will be grown in an academic lab by highly trained academic staff. It's handmade, ooh yummy, and it's time and labor intensive. That's why it's so expensive to produce it. Not to mention a little unappetizing. Since it contains no blood, it lacks color. At the moment, it looks like a bit of like the flesh of scallops. And like all muscle, these lab-grown strips also need to be exercised so they can grow and strengthen rather than waste away. To do this, he exploits the muscle's natural tendency to contract and stretches them between Velcro tabs and the petri dish to provide resistance and help them build up strength. Supporters of the idea of man-made meat, such as Stellan Wien, a bioethicist at Linköping University in Sweden, says there's no less appealing than mass-producing livestock in factory farms, where growth hormones and antibiotics are commonly used to boost yields and profits. And conventional meat production also notoriously inefficient. For every 15 grams of edible meat, you need to feed the animals on around 100 grams of vegetable protein, an increasingly unsustainable equation. All this means finding new ways of producing meat is essential if we're to feed the enormous and ever-growing demand for it across the world. Of course, you could do it by being vegetarian or eating less meat, But the trends don't seem to be going that way. With cultured meat, we can be more conservative. People can still eat meat, but without causing so much damage. Meat eaters cause damage. According to the World Health Organization, annual meat production is projected to increase from 218 million tons in 1997 to 99 to 376 million tons by 2030. Demand for a growing world population is seen rising further beyond that. Current livestock meat production is just not sustainable. Not from an ecological point of view, neither from a volume point of view. Right now we're using more than 50% of all our agriculture land for livestock. It's simple math. We have to come up with alternatives. According to a 2006 report by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, industrial agriculture contributes on a massive scale to climate change, air pollution, land degradation, energy use, deforestation, and biodiversity decline. Well, is that so? Let's see. What other things is he trying to tell us? And then it goes on to say the report entitled Livestock's Long Shadow said the meat industry contributes about 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and this proportion is expected to grow as consumers in fast developing countries like China and India eat more meat. Hanatua Misto, who conducted a study into the relative environmental impacts of various types of meat, including lamb, pork, beef, and cultured meat, said the lab-grown stuff has by far the least impact on the environment. Her analysis, published in the Environmental Science and Technology Journal earlier this year, found that growing our favorite meats in vitro would use 35 to 60% less energy, emit 80 to 95% less greenhouse gas, and use around 98% less land than conventionally produced animal meat. We are not saying that we could or would necessarily want to replace conventional meat with its cultured counterpart right now. Well, it's already calling it a counterpart. You're not even buying it and eating it yet. But you know it's coming. Tua Misto, who led the research at Oxford University's Wildlife Conservation Research Unit, said in a telephone interview. Let's continue. Interesting. He said the cultured meat could be part of the solution to feeding the world's growing population, and at the same time cutting emissions and saving both energy and water. While the experts in the field agree that within several years it may be possible to produce in vitro meat in a processed form. Well, I've already read one that said 2012, so this one says several years. Okay. It could take, well, producing more animal-like products such as pork chops or steak could be a lot more complex and may take many more years. And his post is financed by an anonymous private funder keen to see the Dutch scientists succeed. We have the anonymous invisible money man. He hopes to hand the world its first man-made burger by August or September of next year, which that's now coinciding with what I already heard, but for the moment, he admits what he has grown is a long way from a mouth-watering meal. He hadn't yet sampled his own creation, but reviews from others are not great. A Russian TV reporter who came to his lab actually tried one. You gotta be crazy. Of the strips and was unimpressed. It's not very tasty. Needs to be worked on, but with the right amounts and right types of fat, perhaps a little lab-grown blood to get color and iron, he's confident he can make his petri dish meat look and taste as good as the real thing. Aren't you getting hungry now? You're thinking about all the other fine things they'll put in the meat. Or, if you can call it meat. He also hopes the ability to tweak and change things. Will mean scientists will ultimately be able to make meat healthier with less saturated, more polyunsaturated fat, for example, or more nutrients. The idea is that since we are now producing it in the lab, we can play with all these variables and we could eventually, hopefully, turn it in a way that produces healthier meat. Whereas in a cow or a pig, you got very limited variables to play with, but they are natural, and God made them, and He allows us to eat them to survive. And now, well, we're going to make the meat counterpart. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Oh, can't you wait to slap some of that on the barbecue grill, eh? Maybe have a hot dog? We'll see. I just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you hadn't heard what's coming to your shelves supposedly next year. So I'll talk to everybody soon. God bless. I wish everybody the best.